Hi INFJs and autistic INFJs, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm wondering if you've ever noticed how people are drawn to you, almost like you're a magnet. They just kind of flock to you and they're like all up in your space and want to be your best friend. Then all of a sudden they push you away. They'll distance themselves from you and it leaves you feeling very hurt and it's almost very confusing, isn't it? I've experienced this many times and it's very common for INFJs and autistic INFJs to experience this. And today this is actually what we're going to talk about, why people are so attracted to INFJs but then push us away. I'm going to break down why this happens and I'm going to share some actionable advice on how to navigate this because it can be very hurtful. It can be very confusing and it can take the wind out of our sails very quickly and make us feel bad about ourselves to the point where we want to isolate. That's what I used to do. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name's Trina. I'm an INFJ and I'm also autistic. I created this channel with hopes of helping people like myself feel seen, heard, and understood. I also wanted a place I could share resources, so don't forget to check out the resource section in the description of this video. Things that I have found that have helped me and I know they can help other INFJs and autistic INFJs. I also help INFJs and autistic INFJs heal self-love through classes, coaching, and community. So welcome to my channel. I hope you find it helpful. If you're returning, I'm glad you came back. Welcome back, everybody. I appreciate you all. If you haven't yet, I invite you to subscribe to my channel and like this video. I would appreciate the support. Okay, before we get going, INFJ meet and greet, the virtual meet and greet, our hangout. If you want to connect with other INFJs and talk about INFJ things and have some good laughs and feel like you actually belong, I host this virtual event every month. I've got 2 dates to accommodate different time zones this month. Go and check it out. The link is in the description of this video. It's very casual. It's fun. No need to worry about anything. If you're not techie, that's okay. There's no judgment. We just hang out and talk about INFJ life. So if you want to connect, check out the link in the description. All right, let's get into this. Why are people initially drawn to us like a magnet? I have experienced this and it actually drives me nuts because when this happens, I find they're like right on up in your space, right? And I don't like people in my bubble at all. And these people, they kind of get in your bubble and they want to be like your best friend and they want to do this with you and that with you. And all of a sudden they'll like disappear. Where did they go? They want nothing to do with you. And it's very confusing. It's one of my pet peeves actually about being an INFJ. So I had to dig into this when I was working deeply on myself and find out like what is going on? Why are they drawn to us? What is it about an INFJ that draws people in? The first thing that I found really interesting is we give off a deep, almost mystical energy. That's what people will explain. It's like we're mysterious. Some people will actually sense this, and the ones that sense it are the ones that are going to be drawn to us. They're drawn to us out of curiosity. Have you ever had somebody say to you, I don't know what it is about you, but there's just something about you. I need to get to know you. Oh, that used to happen to me. And I'd be like, you know what? Save yourself the trouble. Don't get to know me. When I was in my dark place, that's what I used to say to them. I was not a very happy person to be around. The second reason that INFJs attract people is we make others feel deeply seen, heard, and understood. People crave this. This is what most people want, is to feel seen, heard, and understood. We fill that void for them. We give them what they want by simply being us. So that attracts them to us because they may not even realize we're giving them what they want. It's just we do it naturally and they want more of it. So they're attracted to us. We genuinely care. We listen attentively to them. We provide emotional support like no one else can. We do this naturally. Again, people crave this, along with being seen, heard, and understood. They desire it, yet they feel that it's lacking from their life, and we can give it to them. So again, we fill another void for them. So they keep coming back to us for that. Our calm yet intriguing presence is very inviting to people. Have you ever had people randomly just come up to you and start talking and like telling their life story to you? This has happened to me many times. Actually, not one time, this is many times that have happened, but one instance is when I was working in the oil and gas industry. At that time, I worked with a whole bunch of truck drivers. They hauled oil rigs. So these guys are like rough and tough guys, right? No emotion, lots of swearing going on. It was like chaos at the shop. And I was in the shop, so I was with them a lot. And I really enjoyed being around them because they were a lot of fun. However, they were attracted to me, not in like a sexual sense. I don't mean like that, but I would find them sitting in my office waiting for me because they had to tell me their life story of what was going on at home or whatever was going on. Some of these stories I really didn't want to know about, but they needed somewhere to dump these stories. And sometimes they would start crying in my office. And I'm sitting there like, oh my gosh, not judging them, but they would just pour out their life story to me. And I'm like, what is going on? I've got this mountain of paperwork that I have to enter into the computer. And here's this guy sitting in my office crying. So I like close the door and just sit there. But that's what it was, is it's our presence. It's very calm. It's intriguing, that mystical. People really enjoy that. They need that, especially when they need to dump, when they just need somebody to listen to them. And that's what I could give these guys. And I think back now, at the time, I found it very exhausting because I wasn't aware of the emotions that I would absorb through them. So I would find it very exhausting to the point where it almost drove me crazy. It would get on my nerves. But now I think back and I smile because I know what it was that I was doing for them. And I'm actually quite proud that I could do that for them, right? To give them a safe place to just dump all that they needed to dump. But I just smile. I think it's a funny story because they're rough and tough. If you've known oil field workers, you know that they're rough and tough. And here they are sitting in my office crying. But we make people curious because of that, our intriguing presence. We're calm yet mystical, and people get very curious about it. But eventually they push us away. Why do they do this? Well, one reason is, and this is probably one of the biggest reasons, and I find this one really interesting, is we reflect back to people inner truths about them. So we naturally see through masks, unspoken emotions, which can be very intimidating for those who are not ready for self-awareness, right? We can point that out to them. And quite frankly, people don't like that. When we can point out what is going on deeply for them, or when they're being fake and we can point that out and say, I mean, you might seem like you got it all together on the outside, but on the inside, I can see differently, and we'll point that out and they don't like that. Makes them feel uncomfortable. And they'll project that discomfort onto us, and we'll make them feel very exposed and emotionally overwhelmed, and they don't like that. Another reason is our emotional depth can be a lot for some people, right? We don't like small talk. Ugh, I hate small talk. It's my pet peeve, and I generally won't even do it. However, very few people are like us that don't like small talk. Most people, that's their comfort zone. That surface level talk is their comfort zone. And they tend to pull away when it gets too deep because that's when they get uncomfortable. But it's the deep conversation we like, that's where we're comfortable. So they'll pull away when we start going too deep. Again, when we start going deep, sometimes we're going to reflect back inner truths about people, and they don't like that. We don't even mean to do it. It just happens sometimes. People don't like that. Our energy, even though they may love our energy, and that's what is attracting them to us because we've got that mystical energy, it can be a little bit too much for some people, a little bit too intense. This can cause us to feel, not us to feel, it causes them to feel very intimidated by us. Have you ever been told that you are a very powerful soul? Has that expression ever been said to you, or something similar to that? I was talking to a lady a couple weeks ago, and we were just discussing things going on in life. And a topic came up about how even as an adult, I'll get pushed away from things that I enjoy doing, right? Like For example, volunteering at my son's school. A few of the people that were in charge of the volunteer group informed me they didn't need my help. Again, pushed away. I knew where it was going, so I just stepped back, right? And I told her this, and she's like, even as an adult, this happens? Like, adults say this to you? And I'm like, it happens all the time. We get pushed away. And she said, that's because of the power that's around you. She said, people can feel that. She said, you're a powerhouse. She said, you don't even know it, but people can feel that. And this is where I'm going with this. It's our energy. It's a very powerful energy. People can feel it, and it scares people. It intimidates people, even though that's the last thing we want to do is intimidate people. I know for me, that's the very last thing I want to do. I don't like being intimidated, so I definitely do not want to intimidate people. But it's just the power of our energy will do that naturally. And people don't like that. So they'll push us away. They don't want us around. They don't understand it. And what people don't understand, they're just naturally afraid of. They just naturally dislike that. So they'll push us away. Another reason why people tend to push us away is we kind of have this bad habit of disappearing when we're tired, when we're emotionally exhausted, when we need to recharge. Excuse me. Have you seen that meme about being friends with an INFJ and you don't know if they're actually like Superman or something, or if they've went missing or what's going on, because all of a sudden they'll just disappear for like days. I've disappeared for like weeks or months before I've talked to some people, and I didn't even realize that's how much time went on. People will take this very personal, and I understand that. I understand why they would take this personal. And they assume that we're not interested, that we're not engaged. So then they pull away and they move on with their life. I don't think anybody is in the wrong in that instance, because we need the solitude. That's what we need to do to recharge. However, I do understand on the flip side of why people will pull away when we disappear. Like I said, I've disappeared for like months at a time, not even meaning to. I just had to, and that's what happened. Whoops. So how do we navigate this when this happens, when people push us away, when first they're attracted to us and they want to be like our bestie, and then all of a sudden they push us away and don't want us near them? How do we navigate this so that we aren't feeling hurt, we aren't coming down on ourselves and feeding that self-hatred that so many of us have? First thing is accept that not everyone can handle our depth, and that's okay. We aren't for everybody, and that's okay. It's not about you. It's about their capacity for emotional connection. So just keep that in mind. Stop dimming your light to make others comfy. They aren't your people. What we need to do, the second thing, is find our people, right? Find those ones who will appreciate you for your depth, for your intense power, energy around you. Look for those who are emotionally mature, who value depth. So a place to do that, you're probably wondering, well, where would I go to do that? A great place is like the INFJ meet and greet that I host. That's another reason why I host it, so that I can get other people, like other INFJs, finding their people, because I know how valuable that is. If you want more information, the link is in the description of this video. Number 3, pay attention to red flags. If they only want emotional support without reciprocation, yes, that was the right word, that's a red flag. Just turn and walk away from that. Start distancing yourself before they can pull away from you. Before they do it, they're not your people, and that's a huge red flag when it's just emotional support they're looking for. And we will know. We will know if that's what it is, because we're great at picking that up. Number 4, and this is a huge one, don't take it personal. Don't take it personal. I know that is easier said than done, but honestly, don't take it personal. Some people come into your life for a reason, but not everyone is meant to stay. That is a piece of advice that I was given a long time ago. And when I was first given it, I actually just kind of let it go in one ear and out the other, because I was like, well, that's dumb. That's a stupid piece of advice. But think about it. It's probably one of the most important pieces of advice that we could carry with us, is that people come into your life for a reason, but not everyone's meant to stay. So when they move on, when they push us away and they're moving on, let them go. That's fine. They've served their purpose. You've served your purpose, and life will keep going. You're not too much. The key is to stop chasing those who can't appreciate you and start embracing who you are and start embracing who do appreciate you. So both who you are and embrace those who do appreciate you. I hope this was helpful. Let me know in the comments if it was. Let me know if you've experienced this. And if you've used other things to help you navigate this that I didn't list so that we can help other people, feel free to share it in the comments. Again, don't forget to check out the resource section in the description of this video. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. I invite you again, subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet, and like this video. Feel free to share it. The more times it's shared, the more INFJs we get to help, and that's what it's all about. Thank you again for joining me, and I'll see you soon with a video. Bye for now.